Hello, welcome back to another episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host Gungo Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Saturday for another amazing episode. On today's episode, I want to talk about friendships. So, I was watching Legally Clueless by Adele Onyango. I follow a couple of podcasts, so I love listening to podcasts, and I think that's part of why I started my own. I wish I could have somebody that I'll be talking to. Like, it's better if you have somebody that you are, bouncing off of each other and everything. But I'm alone for now. If I ever get somebody else to do this with, I will appreciate it because, as much as I love talking to myself, I feel like actually having a conversation with somebody is better than just talking to yourself, okay? So I was listening to Adele Onyango, and she has this segment on her Legally Clueless podcast that is like the title is for Mannerless Women. And I love it. I've been listening to women telling their stories and empowering each other and talking about their impactful stories and how they overcame, after divorce, after all of these hurdles that they had in their lives, and they overcame everything. And then now at a better place. There's one who's a writer who made me want to just go back to writing because she was talking about starting to write after her divorce. She used writing to get out of her head. So I wish I had that, and I hope that I can fight my way through the chaos in my head, because she says that's how she got to rearrange the chaos in her head. So like by writing and putting everything in perspective and just being like, yeah, this is what happened, and like how she used it was like a form of therapy because she couldn't afford therapy during her divorce. So she was like, yeah, this is how I'm going to do it. And so she fought, and so she would write everything down and everything that she thought about. You know how when you meet your ex, you panga your things and your thoughts in your head, and you're like, yeah, I have to be, calm and patient and kind and everything. But then while writing, she could write whatever. She could just express herself and say and feel whatever she wanted to say and feel, and nobody could tell her anything about it. So she says that writing really helped her out, and I understood that. I felt that because I was like, yeah, I do get where you're coming from. I do get what you mean, but I don't know. Maybe I'll start writing because I was like, people are doing it out there. I have a novel I can write, I can, put out, but then I'll have to get an editor. And as I said before, somebody discouraged me from being a writer after high school. When I went to them, and I was like, I want to become a writer. Could this publishing house help me publish my book? And they're like, yeah, we'll take 90% and we'll give you 10%. And I was like, this man looks at me because I'm a kid, because I was 18 at the time, and he thinks that that's how they're going to steal from me. And it was a big publishing house in Kenya. And I was like, yeah, no, I won't do that. And so that made me not want to do that. But I've been thinking about it of late, and I'm like, yeah, I love writing. That's the one thing that I know I can do without any stress. But then my mind having all the stress that it has been having, I am afraid of writing or something like that. I don't know. I'm not even like I'm not blocked. I don't have writer's block. I have the stories. I know what I want to write about. Right now, I have two stories going on in my head. Like today, I'll be actually not even like today. I'll be like thinking about one story in one moment, and then the next moment, I'll be switching to the other story and I'm continuing it. Like I see these stories and how they play out, and I'm like, okay, I'll need to sit down and just organize myself properly and be able to do this thing. So pray for me. I'm crossing my fingers and I'm hoping that I will be able to do it and be able to do it well. Yeah, that's like my prayer. So I really hope that I'll be able to do it. Okay? So I was listening to Adele talking, and she was talking to Janet Mbogwa about friendships. And they were talking about all these things, and they had such an amazing conversation about friendships, what they have decided to do now, and what they're putting behind them and all of these things. And I was like, yeah, I understand. I do understand where you're coming from, guys. I really do. Because just listening to them talk, about what they went through, especially after their divorces, because both of them have been married before and both of them have been divorced, and both of them had very public lives. So people sort of knew. Adele spoke about her divorce on her podcast before, and Janet Bugu has spoken about it, and hers was very, very public, and everything what her former husband did with the brother and everything. So they were talking about how they navigated friendships since then and how they're actively moving forward when it comes to making new friends, talking to the older ones, somebody who ghosted them and now they're like, you know what, I want to be your friend again. And they were like, yeah, no. I just tell them no. Like Janet Bogo said that she told her friend no, because this woman did not even invite her to her wedding. And then she told another friend that, yeah, I'm getting married, but I'm not going to be inviting you to my wedding. And then I think 2 years ago, she started reaching out and she was like, yeah, can we meet out and have some coffee or something like that? And Janet was like, yeah, no. And I was like, hey, congratulations. I clapped. I was like, yeah, I wish I had that energy and that strength, the strength to do that. But I think right now I do. Honestly, right now I do. Because I've been thinking about my own life and my own personal friendship since I was a kid. And I've always been the person who was left behind. Always. I know I'm not a bad person. Like, I'm not the best human being. I'm not like without my own faults. I have my own faults. I'm not an angel. I'm not a saint. I'm a human being who has her own faults. Things that I think might be cute might not be. Things that I think, like I'm the best in this part or in advising people or in doing 1, 2, 3. Maybe to them, they are like, oh, she's too much. She's this, she's that. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I'm very self-aware. And sometimes, as I said before, I'm an overthinker. So sometimes I go, into my own head and I tell myself things. And I thought I was the only one until I had this beautiful, smart, very, very smart and very, very intelligent women talking. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just like you, Adele. Oh my God, I'm just like you, Janet. Oh my God, I'm just like you, Adele. And they made me understand that I'm not alone in these situations. They made me understand that I'm not crazy for feeling the way I feel. They made me understand that I'm not being selfish or I'm not being overly pretentious or anything like that. Like, I'm just a human being who was hurt by my friend or friends rather, and I'm allowed to feel the way I want to feel, or I'm allowed to feel the way I actually feel. I'm allowed to say that, yeah, you hurt me. I'm allowed to say that what you did to me was not okay. I'm allowed to say that, yeah, I'm not impressed by what you did. I'm allowed to feel that. And I'm allowed to say it proudly. And so if I decide that I do not want to see any of them, if I decide that I don't want them in my life anymore, if I decide that I'm not interested in them in being part of my life, I should say it. And I shouldn't feel bad about feeling the way I do. I remember talking to my therapist while I was still seeing a therapist. I remember telling her about a friend who just decided to not talk to me. She ghosted me. And it wasn't just me, it was me and it was, a couple of our other friends. One of those friends just blocked her, like deleted her name, blocked her, and was like, yeah, I'm moving on. Because this woman, we have been friends for how long? I've always been there for her, and now she's just decided that she doesn't want to be a part of our lives. So yeah, no, I'm leaving her behind the way she left us behind. And I understood him. I really did. I felt his pain. I understood where he was coming from. But the other friend, because now he's like the glue, he's friends with all of us, the three of us, and he calls us and he texts us and he does all of these things. He had his own share of problems with that friend, but then they find a way to resolve it. But then I was just like, yeah, no. The last time she and I spoke, and she was like, I miss our friendship and all of that. I was like, yeah, you're a bad friend. How can you say that you miss our friendship? You know where I live. You know I do not have a job, so I cannot get to you. I cannot waste money to come to you because every money I get, every money I make nowadays goes to my food, goes to my bills. Like, I can't waste money going to visit somebody, and especially somebody who has a job. So you have a job, you can come to me, or you can be like, hey, let me send you some money, then come and see me. But instead of doing that, you're like, oh, can we meet for coffee? How am I getting to that coffee? How am I how am I supposed to come and see you? Honestly speaking, I remember telling her that I'm telling you I cannot even afford food sometimes, and you are telling me to come and meet you for coffee. Are you serious? And so she got upset with me, and so she's been trying to avoid me since then. And she went and told this friend, like, whenever we talk, it's like I'm forcing her for us to meet. I'm forcing her to come and see me in my house. And I just have to understand that we've moved on, you have outgrown, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you are the one who reached out. So anyway, I've already preempted this story so much. So I'll start with a couple of friendships from when I was a kid. I've spoken about friendships I've had since I was a kid. Like through the stories I've been telling on this podcast, I have had friendships, different ones. So as a kid, I had a group of friends. So there was Macrin, there was Gladys, there was Johnny, there was Kilonzo, there was Eunice. This is where I used to live. This is where I grew up. These were like my childhood best friends. Macrin, they moved. And so after they moved, I actually saw her sister where I live. I saw her here in Kasarani, the sister that she used to live with. I used to see her last year, by the way. This year I haven't, but I haven't been going downstairs a lot since this year began. But I saw her a lot last year. Her sister's name was Karen. And they used to live together and used to go to the same school. I even have a photo with her and the other friends. So Macrin, when they moved, I don't know, just lost contact. And like how you grow up and you start looking for your friends on Facebook and stuff. I've never seen her on Facebook. So I don't know if she's there and she's using a pseudonym or whatever it is, but I haven't heard of her or seen her since she moved while we were in primary school. And the sister, I saw her, I wanted to stop her and just say hi. But yeah, I'm an introvert. And I'm like, if I start talking to her, she'll know that I live here. And that will be a friend who lives here. And I don't want to be visited every other day in my house. I'm sorry, but I do not want that. I do not want friends to be knocking on my door every other day. Like, if you're coming to see me once in a month, I'll be grateful. But like, if I have somebody who's constantly knocking on my door, I'll be like, no. I don't want you here. Like, why are you here again? I just saw you yesterday. Why am I seeing you today as well? So, I love you, but no. So I think that's what made me not talk to her because I saw her so many times and I wanted to say hi, but I was like, yeah, nah. So Eunice, we still talk. We actually just had a conversation last week, a very lengthy conversation. I think we spoke for more than 2 hours. It was actually, yeah, because the first time we spoke for like an hour, and then the second time we spoke for 2 hours plus. So yeah, it was a very, very lengthy conversation. So with how we usually catch up every once in a while. So like how we spoke this month, maybe we'll speak again next month or after 2 months or something. But it's usually like we catch up on everything, talk about our childhood, reminisce on some very good memories, and just have a blast. And for the others, I don't know. So the sister and brother, Johnny and Gladys, I won't talk about them. But if you listen to my They Never Knew Me episode, I talk about her a little bit. And so after she got married, she and I never really became friends anymore. So we used to chat kitambo, like on birthdays, we'll be like, happy birthday, happy birthday. Her birthday is actually coming up later this month. But yeah, I don't know. She decided, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to fight that. The brother, I won't talk about that. And the other guy, we're not enemies, but I don't remember I think the last time I spoke to him was in 2023. So yeah, if the situation needed for us to talk, I'm sure we would. But yeah, so those are my childhood friends. Then I went to high school and there I met a couple of people and I made a couple of friends. So there was Gentrix and then there was Jane and I think those are the friends that, I was calling like my best friends. Of course, there were others. There was Cecilia. There were other friends, but these two are the ones I was calling my best friend. This friend, Gentrix, we finished high school, And I finished college and she gives me a call because we used to talk that entire time. So she will call me and I'll go to her place. She used to live with her mom. And I will go there, I will meet and just, I don't know, eat and buy all these things, sausages, oh my God. And that's how we kept, being in touch. And then I finished college and she calls me one time and she's like, hey, I'm moving to Gashie. And that place, like, it wasn't even Gashie, it was Moshada, like, uko Mushwa Gashie. So since you have finished college and you haven't gotten a job yet, could you come and stay with me for a while while you're looking for work? So that, because she used to work at night, so that when I leave the house at night, the house is not left empty and people won't be able to break in. So I was like, okay, yeah, because I wasn't doing anything. I was just looking for work and I was living with my grandma at the time. So I was like, yeah, okay, so I'll come. My aunt was living in Gashi at the time as well. So my aunt was living in a place called River. That's how they call it, River. And so she and my friend was my former friend, she was in Moshada. So I went to stay there. What we used to do is that whenever we'll be with her, we will just stay together. Her boyfriend was at Egerton University at the time. So whenever he will be coming to Nairobi to visit her, I would leave and go to my aunt's place or go to my grandma's. And so he will come that same day that he'll be arriving. I'll wake up and then just leave. And then the guy will come because by the time I'm waking up, she's now coming from work. So the guy will come, they will have their time together, and then he'd leave. And then I'll come back after he'd left so that, the house isn't empty at night again. So I was doing this for her. At that time, we were sharing clothes, we were doing what? Like all of these things, we'll go to places together and all of that. I was helping out a friend and I was also having fun, like a lot of fun. I was jobless, I was 21, I didn't have a care in the world. I was good. But then the main thing is that I was helping out a friend. Until one day, this friend of mine comes and tells me, hey, and they would do it, people are funny. This friend comes and tells me that she comes in with another girlfriend. And this friend has, I think she's bringing her TV to my friend's place. And so she calls me outside and she's like, you know what? This friend is bringing this TV here and she wants to start buying things so that she can be able to move out of her mother's home. But I do not want it. And my boyfriend doesn't want her things here. He's thinking that blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, who is paying for the rent? Me. Who is doing this? Me. And blah, 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 me. So why are you taking rules and whatever from your boyfriend? And then I read in between the lines and I heard what she was saying because she talked about a lot of things, by the way. And I was like, are you kicking me out? And she goes like, yeah, it's not that, I'm like, just tell me, do you want me to leave? Because you do understand, if you want me to leave, all you have to say is, yeah, I think it's enough. You have helped me enough and now it's time for you to go. I think I'm good from now. And she's like, yeah, I think that's okay for you to leave. Yeah, blah, 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 and all of these things. And I'm like, okay, all you had to do was tell me that. Honestly, if she just came and told me that, yeah, you coming to stay with me here, I was just going to be temporary. So I think it's time for you to go back home. I would have been okay. Or she would have even lied and said that the boyfriend is coming to stay there permanently. We would have still been friends. But she lied to me, and I knew she lied to me because I've told you, if you start lying to me, I will know it. I listen to people, and the way I overthink, I read in between the lines, I look at you, and I'm looking at you. If I know you, I know your expression. I've known this lady for 4 freaking years in high school. And this was from 204, this was 2011. That's how long I'd known her. So her lying to me, because as she was talking, at first I was like, yeah, why is your boyfriend giving you rules? Blah, blah, blah. And then I continued hearing what she was saying and I'm looking at her and I'm like, are you chasing me out? Are you kicking me out? All you had to do was tell me to leave and I'd leave. I'm okay. I'm not homeless. I'm not like, you're not doing me a favor by allowing me to be here in your house. Honestly, I can just go back home and I'm okay with it. I wasn't kicked out of home. You're not doing me like a favor. I'm the one who's doing you a favor. All you have to do is tell me to go back home and I'll go. But the way she played with that, with words and all of these things, I was like, yeah, no. So I was like, okay, I'll pack my things and go. So I took a shower, packed my things, and I left. In high school, I was a prefect, and while leaving, I was given this umbrella as a gift for being a prefect for 2 years, or was it three, or whatever, 2.5 years, blah. So I forgot it at a place. When I went back with my cousin after a few days to go and pick it up, because I had to find a time where she was home, she had destroyed it. How, I do not know. It was broken. I had to throw my gift away. And she was a prefect in high school too. She still had hers. And it was fine, but she had broken mine. So it's like, why would she do that, honestly? But anyway, so after I left, because I left and went to my aunt's place at first, and then later on I went to my grandma's, went back home. So I told my grandma what had happened, and now is when I realized what had actually happened. You remember when I told you that story? Like, yeah, my family has done wonders to me now. Wow. Yeah, so my grandma tells me what really happened. So, as I've said, we used to share clothes with her sometimes, and even swimming costumes. Back then, I didn't know that. Yeah, you do not put on other people's swimming costumes. Underwear, blah blah blah. All these diseases. I was so naive on so many levels. So naive. I mean, yeah, very very naive. I was. So I was putting on her swim clothes and everything. So there's this swimsuit I like that she used to give me to wear sometimes. So I put it on and I took a photo and I posted it on Facebook. I deleted it since. So I put it up on Facebook. She had seen it. And so apparently, when I put it on Facebook, she got upset. But that's not even the problem. So my grandmother tells me this whole story of what happened. And I'm like, okay. So I go and call her and I'm like, so you kicked me out of your house because you spoke to my aunt? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I told you that if you have an issue with me and you cannot talk it to me, even though you have known me since high school, even though you and I are age mates, if you cannot approach me and tell me about it, I gave you my grandmother's number for that exact reason. Call her, tell her that I'm misbehaving, tell her that I did this and this, and she'll know how to talk to me. And after I know what has happened, I'll know how to approach you and talk about it, because I'm the type of person who'd rather just, face an issue, talk about it, and move on. I had told her that, and she had agreed, and we had never had an issue until she spoke to my aunt. And I told her, please never go to my aunt with anything that concerns me, because it will be made worse. If you go to her and say that I stepped on your foot by mistake, she'll be like, no, it wasn't a mistake. She wanted to step on your foot. So she had met with her. I don't think it was intentional. I think it was by mistake, because we lived in the same place, yeah? And so she had said something and my aunt had said something. And so because of all of these things, she came and told me all that nonsense that she did. So the gist of the story was, there was this time. So as I said, whenever her boyfriend will be coming, I would leave. I'll go back to my grandmother. I'll go to my aunt's place. So this one time, she told me that he's coming and he's coming with his siblings. They want to come to visit Nairobi, and she was the only relative that they had in Nairobi. So she asked me to make chapati and madondo. I'm a good cook. I'm a pretty decent cook. Let me say that. Not like a good cook, but I'm a pretty decent cook. So I made chapos, I made madondo. That was the only time I met that guy in that house. And I spent the night together with the siblings. And then the next day I left. But she asked me to make the chapati to invite them to Nairobi. I did that. For my friend, I made chapati and I made madondo. While we were eating, this man commented that you're the one who made the food. I was like, yeah, it is so delicious. And I was like, thank you. It was just a compliment. I didn't think so much about it and I moved on. But apparently she had it and she didn't like it. So I think that's one of the things she discussed with my aunt about. And so when she saw the photo of me on Facebook, and at that time I'd not blocked my aunt there yet. So she saw that and they spoke about it somehow, I don't know. But then she tells me at this time that I'm calling her, that you see that photo you posted up, like my man follows me and he could have seen you in that photo and he has seen me in that swimsuit as well. What will he think? Blah blah blah, and all of these things. And that time he cooked and he said that the food was delicious. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You've known this boy since high school. I've known of him since high school. I was never interested in him. I'm not interested in him right now because people have a type. He is not my type. You see him, you see an angel. I see him, I feel nothing. He's just a human being. I respect him. I respect you. I respect your relationship. Handsome or not, I've never even thought of him like that. We had never even discussed him in that sense. So, where did this come from? He does not follow me on Facebook. I did not tag you on that photo. I put it up and it was just me. So, where did all of this story come from, honestly? How could he have seen the photo unless you tagged yourself on that photo? How could he have seen it? He's not my friend on Facebook. So, how? What do you mean? And she goes like, blah, blah. I'm like, no, 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 no. And him complimenting the food. Was I not supposed to cook it properly? But then since then, I was like, if I go to cook in anybody's home, I'm cooking the way the person who is in that house cooks. If that woman who has asked me to cook for them, like not the people who pay me, no, like a relative, a friend, if I'm coming to cook for you as my lady friend and your man is there, is going to eat that food, believe you me, I'll cook that food the way you cook it. Mbaya. If you cook your food terribly, I'll cook it the same way so that it doesn't taste differently. So that that man does not compliment me. He'll be like, all these women just cook the same. Because that was not the first person who ever complimented my food. And the woman was like, huh? So, yeah. It became such a huge issue for her. And yeah, she had kicked me out of her house because she was insecure with her boyfriend. A man who had only met that one time with the rest of his family. So, yeah. And that's how our friendship ended. I told her, I told you, if you want you and I to be friends, you cannot be friends with my aunt. Because my aunt has her friends and that's okay. I respect them. I do not become their friends. If they're around me, I'll talk to them. Yeah, but I'm not their friend. You cannot be my friend and be her friend as well. Because there are things about me that I'll be telling you and I don't want you to be discussing them with her. If I have anything to tell her, I'll tell her myself. It doesn't have to be coming from my friend. But she went and did that and she ruined our friendship. So we stopped talking. I was like, yeah, no. And then a few months later, she calls me and she's like, I'm pregnant. You're going to be an aunt and all of this. And I'm like, yeah, no. Then she calls me again. She's having a baby shower and that I should go and bring gifts, blah, blah, blah. My other friend from high school, Jane, was getting married on the same day. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Nakuru for my friend Jane's birthday. I cannot make it. She was like, okay. She gives birth and then she calls me another time and she's like, my baby is already eating. This was a couple of months later after she delivered. And, he only likes, like, I don't know, ugalia hostess. It's very expensive, that flour. So she goes like, yeah, he only eats that and he likes like computers as gifts and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm very broke to afford such things. So yeah, that means I'll never come to see him. And then I moved to Kasarani. I think after I moved, she also called me once. And then we just lost contact completely. Because after the last time we spoke, I think she finally got the message, like, I'm not interested in being your friend anymore. And so we didn't talk for many, many years. Since that time, I think it was 2011, 2012, or the last time we spoke was 2013, I don't know. Until earlier this year, a couple of months ago, I'm just sat in my house, my phone rings and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, who is this? I answer because I'm looking for work. It could be a job. I answer and it's her. She's like, Millie Sasa. And I'm like, poor. Of course, from the voice, I know it's her. And she's like, oh, long time. Nini, nini. And I'm like, why is she calling me? What does she want? I thought somebody had died. Because that would be the only excuse she would have for calling me. I was like, why is she, after all these years, why is she calling me? And anyway, she did. And she spoke and spoke and spoke and spoke and spoke and said all of these things. Oh, she's been in Kisumu and now she's come back to Nairobi. And now she's calling all her contacts from before just to see if they're still in Nairobi or they've gone out of the country, because most of the people went to high school with are out of the country. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in Nairobi. And I think I was just answering one word. And I think she got the message because she hasn't called me since. And I'm hoping that she never does ever again, because I'm the kind of person that I'll give you chances. I forgive a lot and I forgive quickly. Like, all you have to do is tell me that you're sorry and I feel that you're sincere and I'm okay with it. But then if you have taken me for granted for such a long time, I'll just know. I might tell you that I've forgiven you, but I won't. And I don't forget. That one I never do. I know the Bible says forgive 70 times 77 or whatever, but is it 7 times 77 or 70 times 77? Whatever the Bible says. I do not. With her, she did exactly what I told her not to do. Come to me if you have a problem. That was such a stupid thing that she took to people to talk about something that was so silly. All she had to do was confront me about it. Talk to me as a friend. We are age mates. She had just to talk to me and we would have solved it. And it wouldn't have come to her chasing me out or whatever. And if she didn't want me in the house anymore, she would have just told me, yeah, you can go home now. If she didn't want me to put on her dresses anymore, she would have just said, I don't think it's okay for you to be putting on my clothes or taking photos with them rather, or whatever. We could have spoken about it. It was such a minute thing. But she made it to be this huge ass thing that, ugh. Anyway, that was one of my high school friends. The other one, we have been in contact since. We will talk every other month, just like I do with Eunice. But then when I quit my job in 2022 and I started this cooking job, so I cook for people, I make meal plans and stuff like that. So if you are interested, you can call me and tell me. I can come and cook for you. So I do that. And so I was advertising it all the time on my WhatsApp, on my Facebook, blah, blah, blah. And she texted me on WhatsApp one time. And she's like, how much do you charge for meal plans and cooking for a person the whole week? I tell her 2K and she laughed. She actually wrote, ha, 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 Nini LOL. I was like, what? Honestly, what is that? Because why would you laugh? Do you know how much people charge for meal plans? And I'm coming to your house to cook food for the whole week. I'm making chapati, I'm making meat, I'm making, I don't know, biryani or pilau or whatever, mandazi for breakfast, if I'm boiling domangwashi, blah, blah, blah. All of these things, I'm making all of them, and then I'm leaving your house, kitchen clean, everything, food stored in your fridge. And for that, me asking 2K, you think that's a lot of money? People ask for 5K and above. But I was like, because I'm an amateur, I'm just starting out, let me start with 2K. And this lady laughed. And I was like, that friend is not a friend who's supporting my dreams. I have no job. That was a way of me trying to make money, trying not to be on people's doors and knocking or calling people and being like, this idea. That was me trying to help myself. And this friend, instead of going like, I hope you find clients or blah, 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 she laughed. I was like, okay, this is the last time we're chatting ever. And it was. Because she'd never reached out again. I think she just realized that I was not interested. And I was like, yeah, I'm never going to call you again. This lady, I went to her wedding. This lady, the things I did for her. But anyway, they can never be as many as I did for my childhood friends. And they still cast me out. But this one, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to reach out anymore. So I was like, yeah, done. And that's how I'm no longer talking to any friends I had in high school, but I still have my primary school friend. So in college, I met a couple of friends, and my best friend, Sharon, she has been my anchor. She has been my sister. She has been, she's the one who paid for me to go to Sharjah. She paid for my stay over there. She paid for me to come back. She paid I don't know. I always tell her, like, if ever I wake up one morning and God has decided to change my life and He has given me everything I've ever asked Him for, hey, this babe will ataskia raha, atafurahia Kenya, atafurahia dunia. Because, I do not forget what people have done for me. And it's not just her, it's a lot of people who have helped me out during this period that I've been, jobless and broken and all of that. And I don't forget, no matter what you gave me, even if it was one bob, I will never forget. Like, if ever my life turns around and becomes what I want it to be, my people, if you have ever helped me in any way, just know you are in my prayers, and you are the people that I talk about to God, and I'm like, God bless this person. You give me 5 bob, I pray to God and be like, Patia you tenfold, 1,000 times more than what they gave me. And I feel like God does, even in his small ways, but God blesses them because they are still okay and all of that. So if they're healthy and they're strong and they're happy, that is God answering the prayer. But one day, if ever God just decides to bless me the way I want him to, aki mtafurahi tena sana. So this babe, like, God bless her so, so much. And yeah, she's the one that I've been keeping in touch mostly with. We talk every week because she's no longer in the country, but we talk every week. Other friends that I made in college, well, we talk every once in a while. They support my podcast, everything I've ever put out. Like, I write something and you see that they're there, they're supporting me there. They support me in their own little ways, and I'm very grateful for that. It doesn't have to be monetary, like, it doesn't have to be like them giving me money, but the fact that they support everything I do. I put out my blog and they're there, they're reading whatever I'm writing. I put out this podcast and they're there, they're listening. I mean, God bless you guys. May God be with you. And these are the type of friends I need. The type of friends that encourage me, the type of friends who are there. We don't have to be talking every single day, but you don't even have to be introducing me to people as your friend. As long as in my heart I know that this person did A, B, C, D for me, and I'm there for them, because I'm the kind of person who will avail myself if you need me. As long as I feel like in my heart you're my friend, you call me and you're like, I want to vent, I'm there, I'll listen. You call me and you're like, I need help doing 1, 2, 3. If it's something that I can, I'll be there. Because I see you as a friend and I will do it. And you coming to me, by the way, is me knowing that, oh, so they see me as a friend too. That's why they came to me. But if you never do, then I'm like, okay, sawa sawa. And so, yeah, that has been college and high school and primary school. And then I've worked in a couple of places, and it's only in one company that I gained a couple of friends from. And yeah, I'm still friends with some of them. Some of them have been helping me out so much during this difficult season. I owe them so much. Again, to God, bless these babes like so much. Bless them like, I don't know. I'm just super, super grateful. I know I sometimes complain a lot to God, but even when I'm complaining, I'm like, God bless these people, because I will not mention their names, but if they listen to this, they'll know themselves, and just know that I'm super, super grateful. I'm very lucky to have you in my life, and I don't know what I'd do without you girls, like, and that one boy. So I don't know what I'll do without you, but I'm just super, super grateful. May God bless you in everything that you do. So those are my friendships. Those have been my people, and I've been there for them in whatever way they've ever asked me to be there for them. If I can, I'm there. And all you have to do is ask. If you don't ask and I do not know, then I'm sorry. I will not be there for you. And even them themselves will say like, well, I didn't give her a chance to be there for me. So yeah. But going back to Adele and Janet Mbogwa, so they were talking about their friendships and how they've been there for each other, how they come out for each other and all of these things. And I'm like, I'm that kind of person, because I've been there for some people. Well, these people who have been helping me are people who I never thought would, funny enough. But then one time or the other, I called or I texted and I was like, please help. I need your help. I've never come to you, but now I need to. And they were like, oh, okay, done. And they helped. I just didn't expect it. Or they had my story from somebody else, or they even listened to this podcast and just helped me. And they reached out and they were like, hey, I didn't know you were going through ABCD, and we talk. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And they're like, okay, so how do you need me to help you? And I tell them, and they come through for me. So God bless these people so much. But then the funny thing is that the people that I was there for, the people who always called, the people who were always like, hey, could you please come and do this for me? Could you please help me this way? Could you please, my dad is sick, I need some money. And I will give, like, yo, hey, wait. I laugh, but it's not funny. I gave my money when I had it. I was employed at some point. And when I had money and friends needed me, I will give. And I will give without even thinking about it, without overanalyzing or whatever. You'll just be like, oh, my sister is sick. Ndoyo. My dad is sick. Ndoyo. So and so. Ndoyo. If I do not have the money, you need me to be physically there, I'd be there. Pelekea fadhi food ako Hosi, I'd be there. Panda gari paka Kenyatta, ndio mimi nimefika, give the food. Do this, like I will be there. I've given my time. People say time is money, but then when you have been giving your time to them, they don't take it as money. They don't even take it as a currency, by the way, like any form of currency. So when now you go to them and you're like, you know what? I have nothing in the house. I need some money to go and buy 1, 2, 3. Could you help me, please, with whatever you can? These people that you gave your time to will look at you and be like, I don't have right now. And as I always say, like, I can't force you to give me your money. Like, if you don't have, you don't have. That's okay. What bothers me is that they will go and talk to other people and be like, so-and-so was asking me for money. And I'm like, I don't have to give it to them, blah, blah, blah. And they start to badmouth you to other people. And you're like, so usually say time is money. When I was giving you my time, you never, calculated it as money. I never told you that for every 1 hour that I'm spending being there for you, I'll need like $15 or $20. So you never took it seriously. So, but I was investing in you. I was trying to tell you that I'm your friend, I'm here for you. But now because I'm actually asking for money, you're like, no. And you start telling people that I cannot give her money. Why am I giving her money? Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's not. And I'm like, okay. Because I'm actually starving. I'm not asking for money to go out clubbing. I'm asking money to buy food. I'm asking money to pay for my Wi-Fi. I'm asking money to pay for 1, 2, 3. You are asking me to come and babysit. You're asking me to come and take you, I don't know where and where and where. You're asking me to come and be there for your parents, for your siblings. But then when I need money to buy food for myself, you have it. I do not have it. Now it's like, oh no, I can't do it. And I get it. I understand it. I usually just go like, okay, sawa, it's fine. But what you're telling me is that you're not my friend. When you are in need, I was there for you. But when I'm in need, now I'm a burden. So I listened to the ladies talking and I was like, oh, okay. I learned a lot of things. A friend once told me, okay, she didn't tell me that she was just venting. And she was saying she's learned not to give her time to people. And she has understood that waiting for people when you have agreed to meet at 10 or something like that, and then they show up at 11 or 12 because the African timers, she's no longer going to do that. And I was like, yeah, I get it. Because I've been the person who we agree we're going to meet at 12 and I'm there at 12. But then the people walk in at 1. There's a time I went to a restaurant and they sat and they waited for my friends. These people were still in Eastlands. They hadn't even taken a shower. And I was already in town. So I buy a small bottle of soda and they start, we're just sipping. I took 2 hours in that place. The waitress coming every now and again to ask, utakula kitu ingine? And me going like, no. Until my friends arrived, they were looking at me badly, the waitresses in that place. Because I was waiting for friends to arrive. But that they take it as nothing. For another friend, he was sick. Was I at work? I left home. And I went all the way to Eastlands. And I had forgotten, where he used to live, there's so many streets, they intertwine, blah, blah, blah. So I had forgotten where we had really passed, but I remember this one restaurant we had sat in. So I went there and I called him. I called and I called and I called. This person did not pick up the phone. I went to that restaurant and I ate some fries and, a soda, and I kept calling. He didn't pick up. I eventually got tired and went back home, only for him to call me when I'm in a matatu to get back home, and he's like, oh, I was asleep, I'm so sorry, I didn't hear. You knew I was coming. He knew. I understand he was sick, but he knew that I was going to see him that day. So nearly waste fare from my home to his. I never got to see him. And that was taken as nothing. The times I've given my money to people. I went to babysit this during COVID. Hey, kwanza hiyo, that one I regret with everything I've got. I took my leave days because my bosses had just called me to go back to work, and I asked them for a week extension for the COVID break so that I can be there for this friend. I babysat her because she had just delivered before the lockdown. So I helped her to take care of her baby. I babysat her baby. I cleaned her house. I cleaned her baby's clothes. I was there for her. I did everything. Like, hey. Where, I understand when people say that friendship breakups are worse than even relationship breakups, especially for ladies, because this one hurt. I remembered everything I had done for her, only for her to come and ghost me. And when I asked her why, she was like, in life too, I get that people outgrow each other. But kuna friendships zingine, you look at them and you never see that happening. You never see them outgrowing you. But I was there for this lady, and then she ghosted me. And when eventually, because I had to call her sisters and be like, hey, what happened? Is she okay? That's when she calls me. She's like, imagine hakuna. So you just ghosted me for no reason. Because I was so intertwined with this person. I loved her so much that I was like, even if she needs a kidney, I'll give it. No matter what she want from me, I will give it. So I was talking to another friend and he was like, don't take it like that. Just let it go. Just ignore it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, ignoring is not a problem. Ignoring is okay. But they have to acknowledge that they hurt me. That what they did is wrong. You don't do that to somebody who has been there for you all this time. And then I heard Lingugi say that some of these friends that you've been there for over and over again, you could hear them at some point in the future say they never asked you. Or if you went back to them and you were like, I was there for you during this period and this period, they'll be like, I never asked you to be there. And that made me feel so angry. And in my situation, they asked. They were like, please come, please stay, please help. And I was willing and I did. And I know, tenda wema nenda zako. I never expected because I'm doing for them, they should do for me. So I just did and I was happy doing it. But then when you start treating me badly after, when I hear that you've said A, B, C, D and it's negative about me after everything I did for you, then I'm like, why the hell did I do it? I didn't regret it before, but now I do. Because did I do all those things for you just for you to come and badmouth me later on? Honestly, why would you badmouth me and I never did anything wrong to you? And even if I did do something wrong to you, we have been friends for many, many years. Why can't you just come and tell me, hey, Millie, you did A, B, C, D and I didn't like it. Hey, Millie, I heard that you said this and I did not appreciate it. So yeah, she ghosted me. I reached out. And when she told me that it was nothing, that she just stopped, it's just life, I was like, oh, okay. And I spoke to my therapist and I was like, yeah, she did this. And she was like, people outgrow each other, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, like when people become moms, so many things come into play and they just trying to navigate. I was like, yeah, no. Because I know this person. Her being a mom is not what pushed her away. I know what did. I will not talk about it, but I know what did. And it wasn't because she was a mom. It's just sad being the one who's always left behind. Because now I have all these memories that are just there now. Yes, they are good. I have photos on my Facebook, on my Instagram. I have videos on my laptop and all of these things. But I can't use any of them. I can't be happy about any of them. I look back at them and I'm like, well, they were good. They were happy. I was happy. I look back at those memories and I'm like, I was happy. This person in this particular year, yeah, they made me happy. But now I'm just like, I can't even hate them. I can just decide to be quiet, never talk to them again, because I have done that with some people. There's some people have just decided, you X, you X, you X. There's this lady who used, when she was pregnant, she will call me and come to my place and I will cook for her like her baby love me. Hey, hey, that pregnancy, hey, I will do all these things for her. And we haven't spoken for a while now. For a long, long while since then. Well, after the baby and after some issues, but yeah. Because her life moved on and I was left behind. And I'm looking at myself, so yeah, she has a job, I do not. She has a baby, I do not. But doesn't that make the situation unfair for me? Like they all used me. While they were pregnant, I was there. While they gave birth, I was there. While they had their children, the first year, I was there. And then after that, when they went back to work, when they start earning money again, when they had all these avenues opening up for them, now they discarded me because now I'm no longer in their league. Isn't that unfair to me? Am I allowed to feel some type of way or am I not allowed to? Because I'm clapping for them. I'm happy for them. All of them, actually. I'm seeing, because I know how the pregnancies were. I know how the journey was. Some of them, it wasn't happy. It wasn't good. But I was there. I was there through it all. But now that I'm the one who's down, yes, mine is not a pregnancy or any of that, but now I'm no longer a part of their group because they have moved on. They have jobs, they have careers now. They have husbands, they have children, they have their lives, and I do not have any of those. So, yeah, I'm easily discarded and people move on like there's nothing wrong. And I'm not allowed to be upset. Or I'm not supposed to be upset. I'm just supposed to clap and say, God, continue blessing them. God, continue. And I do, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I do. I say, God bless them. Continue blessing them. May you give them all their heart's desires. But I still feel bad for me. For the time I wasted. For the energy I wasted. And I know some people come into your life for a period. So maybe came into my life and I was meant to do the things I did for them. But then after that, they were supposed to move on. I get it. But it doesn't make it easier for me that I was left behind and I can see them moving on. I am happy, but I'm sad for myself. So friendships, as much as we want to be happy, as much as we want to be like, oh yeah, they are the best in this life, blah, blah, blah. I have one best friend in my life right now. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. A friend that you tell something to, a secret to, because when you talk to me, make sure that you tell me this is a secret. If you're my friend, you talk to me, there's a friend, like my best friend, when we are talking, I know whatever she's telling me, I do not repeat it to anybody else. I never repeat it to anybody else. That's standard because I know how hard it is for her to open up. So when she does, I cannot break her trust by telling anybody else. The other friends I had, because we were a group of people, she will tell the other friends, and maybe one of the other friends will call and then we'll discuss it, knowing that whatever I'm saying, they already know and I can talk about the same thing in front of this friend. But this friend never gave me the same courtesy. I will tell her something and then she will go and tell it to her siblings and to her then boyfriend. And one time, the boyfriend actually commented something very negative, and it was about something I told her. And then the siblings also did the same. And when I told her about it, I told her, I cannot trust you with my stories. I cannot tell her, I cannot trust you with my life because I tell you things and you go and do this. And I think that is the reason why she ghosted me the first time. Because I remember vividly, that was the last conversation we actually had at the time. Because she was asking me, like, what's happening? You're not happy? What's up? And I told her, I cannot tell you anything because I can't trust you with anything about me. And the reason is ABCD. And I think she got upset, but we spoke a little bit later. Not about that, but about something else. And then after that, that's when she ghosted me the first time. So I'm like, yeah, me, Mildred, I'm not supposed to get upset when people do bad things to me. I'm just supposed to be entertaining and be understanding, whether it's family, whether it's friends, everybody who's been a part of my life. But then they forget one thing. I love people so much and I love so deeply because I love people the way I wish I was loved. They forget that I started this life on a minus. Like the man who sired me never cared, didn't love me, doesn't. The woman who bathed me, same. And so it's easier for me to believe that if the people who brought me into this world do not want me, do not love me, then how can I expect love from all these other people that I meet in this world? It's easier for me, for my mind to go there. But I've been shown so much love, especially in the past couple of years, that I know that I'm loved, that I'm wanted, that I'm needed by the people who value me. Not just because they have helped me, but because they have said it. They have told me I still need you. You are wanted. You are loved. So I know. And I feel it in my heart. I know. So it's not just me lying to myself that, oh, they care, they love me. I actually know that they do. And I'm grateful. But when people that I've loved, people that have shown I can do whatever for them, they turn on me, I tend to overthink sometimes. I tend to ask myself questions. And now I've put my guards so high. Like, I just can't trust people. Starting friendships, not even a relationship. Like, hey, if I ever meet a man who will be like, you know, I'm in love with you, I don't know how that will go. Because, where trusting a person just to be friends, that will take a while. Making new friends, I'm in my 30s right now. Making new friends in your 30s is already hard. I'm an introvert. And then it's just trusting. No. Because now I have my guards up. How will I? No, because I don't even know what to say. You have to love me more than I love you, I think, at this point, in order for me to trust you ever. Because there's no, I'm just giving my trust to anybody. And that is just friendship. When it comes to love, I don't even know. But I listened to Adele Onyango and Janet Mbogwa, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use that conversation they had, and I'm going to use it in my next friendships, in a relationship, if it ever comes up. I'm going to use it because they had some very important details they were talking about. And I was listening to them and I was like, oh yeah, that is so me. That is so me. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, I'll implement that. I will do that. And so I will urge you, if you haven't listened to them, go. Legally Clueless. The subtopic is for mannerless women, and it's done by Adele Onyango. It's on Adele Onyango's YouTube page. So go. Actually, it's hosted by Adele Onyango, but it's on Legally Clueless. So go, just search Legally Clueless, and then for mannerless women, and it will be Janet Mbogwa and Adele. They're having a conversation on friendships. And so listen to it and listen to it intently, and you'll understand. And that's not the only time I've had this conversation about friendships. My husband, Trevor Noah, also did that with his friends. And every time he has his friends on the What Now podcast, that's a podcast by Trevor Noah, whenever he has his friends as well, They talk about friendships and you hear how they've been there for each other. And I'm like, oh God, I want friends like this. Like a friend who knows you so well that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you can just sigh and they're like, oh my God, you're not happy. What's up? You can just walk in the room and they look at you and be like, oh, I think there's something wrong with Mildred. Like, I want that kind of friendship because I'm that kind of friend. Like, this friend that ghosted me for nothing, I would feel her pain because I'm an empath. I will be in my house and she'll be like wherever, but I would feel like something is wrong. I would dream about her, I'll be thinking, and she's in my mind, she's in my mind, she's in my... and then I would wake up and be like, hey, how are you? And she'll be like, yeah, I'm at the hospital, so and so is sick. And I'll be like, you see, I knew it. Because if I'm in sync with you, I know. Most of the times I have to actually make myself not call people because I'm like, maybe they do not feel for me the way I feel. And actually now I do that. I'm like, I'll dream about somebody's pain or I'll feel somebody's pain and I'm not calling them. Unless it nags at me continuously. That's when I'll be like, okay, fine. Let me just call and ask or text and ask if they're okay. But sometimes I just ignore it because I've come to be afraid. Because I don't want to be there for people who are not there for me. Because I know I might love you more than you love me. And because I know that in my heart, I'm like, I don't want to be there for you. I don't want to show you that I care for you more than you care for me. And so I try and avoid it. But it doesn't make it easier because I can't lie to myself. Recently, a friend lost his sister. For that entire week, I thought about him. Since it happened, I thought about him. When I was talking to my friend Eunice on the phone, we discussed that friend. And I was like, I've been thinking about him this entire week. I didn't know that he was going through a lot of pain. I didn't know. Until I go downstairs and somebody else tells me, hey, have you spoken to your friend? I'm like, no. And he goes like, yeah, he lost his sister. I was like, dang, okay. And I wish I would have been there for him from the beginning. But then I'm afraid nowadays to show people that I love them more than they love me. Because I've been hurt, I've been left behind, I've been shown that people do not care for me the way I care for them. I'm afraid to be vulnerable around them. I'm afraid to be, just me. Because I am a person who feels and I feel a lot. I love and I love deeply and truly, and that has been taken advantage of in the past by friends, by family. And so now I'm just like, yeah, no. Somebody sends me an audio message for 20 minutes and I have to listen to all of it. I listen and then I respond. So mine might be even 10 or 15 minutes, my response. This person won't listen to that entire message. They won't even listen. They just ignore it. 2 days, 3 days, blue ticks, WhatsApp, 3, 4, 5 days. I even come back and delete it and they won't ever bring it up. They came to me for advice. And because I texted Ama, I also texted, I sent the audio and then I texted Kidogo. They'll respond to this text, but they will not listen to that audio. They put me there to listen to them for 20 minutes. But then them listening to my response for 10 minutes, they cannot. You tell me, am I not allowed to be afraid of loving people, of making new friends? Because nah. I'm just like, now, no. I just don't want to give my heart to people. I don't want to give my presence to people. I don't want to give my, I don't know, time to people. I'm just done. And the friends who have been there for me, of course, if they ever call me, I'll be there. If they're not, if they never call me, but I see that they're in trouble, I'll help if I can. But for everybody who has left me behind, this is a public service announcement. Don't call me for whatever. Because right now my life is very, very effed up. I'm down, I'm at the bottom. Yes, fine. I live hand to mouth. I keep telling my friend, like, in my life right now, I'm at a negative, always. If I'm asking for like 10,000 or I mean for 1,000, and if I'm looking for a job and I'm just getting that 1,000 is probably coming. And by the time it hits my M-Pesa, it's gone. I go downstairs, I come back, it's no longer there. So that day you send me 1,000 today morning, by evening, gone. Because I live on negative right now. I remember telling my friend, like, for me to just be okay, I need like 20,000. If nipewe once, sha. Then it will solve a lot of things. And maybe for a while, I will be living like, see, positive, but less stable. And then maybe at some point it will catch up again and then I'll be on a negative. But for now, I'm living on a negative. I get 1,000 bob imeisha, 2,000 bob imeisha, like 500 kwanza hiyo, it's like nothing. So if ever my luck changes and then my life starts making sense, I get a job and I start working and I start earning money, don't call me and ask me to have coffee with you. Because I'll just be like, no. You couldn't have coffee with me when I had nothing. You couldn't offer to pay for coffee when I had nothing. But now, because now I'm employed again, you'll want to sit down with me and have coffee. What are we supposed to talk about? What shared experiences will we have that we'll be sitting down to talk about then? Nothing. So as early as now, I'm saying just know that no. The way Janet Mbugo told that friend no is the same way I'm saying right now. No, I've mourned friendships. I've cried about them. I've prayed about them. Because there's one I prayed. I was asking God, like, why? Why would you allow it? But then I had to remember everything I did for this person. And I was like, maybe that's why they were a part of my life. They were put there for me to bring them to where they are. And it's on them that after they go to that place that they are right now, they were like, yeah, now I no longer need this person. And they cast me aside, so it's okay. But yeah, let me finish it. That because I can rant about this topic like forever, yo. Because I've been through it with friends. I've always been left behind. And I understand it. I get it. They're in different places in their lives and I'm stuck. It's okay. All I'm saying is, not everybody has cast me aside. There's some people who still call to just talk. There's some people who just text to ask me how I'm doing. They don't have to give me their money. They don't have to give me anything. They just text, hi, how are you today? And I respond. There are some that I check on because of guilt, because of whatever, I don't know. But for the majority, they just left and they never looked back. And so if my life ever changes, I would want them to stay where they left me at. Uko mali waliniacha, where they put a full stop and they were like, yeah, I think this is the end of my story with this person. I want it to remain that way. Because if I've survived all this time without them, I think I can do 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 more years without them and I'll be okay. I've always said, like, don't teach me how to live without you. Because I will learn it. I will cry, I will mourn you, but then I will emerge on the other side. And I will remember the memories. I'll still have them. I'm not the type of person who will delete photos and nini and be all. No, they're there to remind me of the happy times that we had. But the memories of the ghosting and the talks and the nini, those are there to remind me that I cannot trust you anymore, that you do not deserve me, and that I'm allowed to move on without you. So yeah, you taught me how to live without you. I agreed and I've learnt it. It was painful at first. Now I'm just like, meh. And I'm moving on. So yeah, I leave it at that. Either way, I hope that you're all okay. Remember to nurture your friendships. Like, friendships are like relationships. You cannot start dating somebody and then you ghost them for 10 days and then you go back to like, hey babe, leo kwaje. I know some guys do that, but don't do that. That's wrong. Because you'll find them wameshaenda na mtu mwingine kitambo tena sana. They won't be waiting for you. So why do people treat friendships like they're I don't know what? Those friendships that we talk every once in a month, those ones I get. And those ones, they are married, they have children. So I get it when we can't be talking every other day. I get it. But they take one day in their lives and they're like, hey, today I'm talking to Mildred for 2 hours. I'll give her 2-3 hours. We'll talk and talk and talk and talk. I appreciate them. But mtu yuko tu. But they just like, no, we have nothing in common. I wear makeup. Mildred doesn't. She can't even afford it. Oh. Well, but ni sawa. I've been really cut out of pictures. Where at friends? You are there, they're like, yeah, come to pick a picture. And then you go and take photos with them. Then when you see the photo on Insta or Facebook later on, you've been cropped out and you're like, hey, okay. Okay. And then this person comes back and tells you like, hey, Sasa, I was asking if you could do ABCD for me. And I'm like, okay, sawa. I've been naive, yo. By the way, when it comes to friendships, I've given so much. I don't regret it, but I'm never, ever going to do that ever again. I've learned my lesson. Nimejichuna masikio kabisa. Like, I've learned my lesson. I will never do or go out of my way as much as I did before. So, yeah. I'm going to leave this at that. I've gone so long. Like, it's been over an hour now. And this, I think, is the longest I've ever recorded. So I'm going to stop there. Go to the comment section down below. Tell me if you agree with me, if you have stories like me, am I not. Like, I don't know. If you agree friendships that have not been nurtured by your other people, you can just be okay with leaving them behind, tell me. If you have left friends behind, tell me. If you're the one who left friends behind, or if you're the one who was left behind, tell me all that in the comment section down below. If not there, go to my Instagram and DM me at Mimi's Musings Podcast. Tell me over there. I'll understand. If you don't want me to share, if you don't want people to know, it's okay. But remember to comment, because I told you, please be commenting, please be liking. Just start listening and like the video. Tafadhali, tafadhali, tafadhali. So yeah, comment, like, share, subscribe, and remember to hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and listen. Okay? Bye now. Love you.